stitching cowbird and welcome back to my channel. This is the channel about cross stitch and a little bit of embroidery, mostly about cross stitch. The last video you saw from me was my mid-year whip parade. So we're going to have a look at some of the progress that I've made since then, and I have got quite a big finish as well to show you today. Love a finish. And it's one I've been wanting to get finished for ages, so we'll have a look at a finish, my whips, and then there is a little tiny bit of haul or stash acquisitions, just a couple of things I've purchased in order to finish getting up a couple of projects. And we're going to start with the finish. I have finally finished it. Ready? Ta-da! Phew. I'm so happy to have this finished. But it looks stunning. I'm so pleased with how it came out. So I'll be completely honest, so they have like a beginner's course for Goldwork. Well, all the different options. They have Goldwork, stump work, white work, I think crewel work, black work, all different options. And they have beginners courses, and then they have kind of intermediate courses. Obviously this was the design that I really liked, much more than the real beginners Goldwork course. So even though I've never done any Goldwork, I just jumped in at the deep end. Who else does that? It can't just be me. I feel like Teresa Little Stitch is always on about that as well, how she just jumps in the deep end. And you're in the deep end, you have to learn. You get on with it and you learn. So this is the RSN Goldwork and Silk Shading Butterfly. And look at that sparkle. I can't get over the sparkle. It is stunning. There are a lot of mistakes. So many mistakes in here. So many things that if you do Goldwork, you'll be like, oh, that's a bit rough. Yeah, I know. So for those of you who don't know them, I think a few of you will. There's Catherine at the Voyage of the Drawn Threader, and Elizabeth, who is Elizabeth Braun Embroidery, I think. Now then, if you want to see some really good Goldwork, go and check out their Instagram accounts, because both of those have been doing the deep dive into Goldwork, working up like a Goldwork sampler. They've been doing that every week all last year, and their standard of stitching is amazing, way above anything I could ever achieve. However, for my first time at Goldwork, I'm pretty chuffed with this. So the last time you saw it, I'm trying to think, I had the wings of the butterfly done, and then I had just started on these flowers. So I had done the petals, and then I just started the outline of these leaves, some of these leaves. There was a bit of pressure with this one, because with the RSN courses, you only get 12 months access to the videos, which is fine. If you're a monogamous stitcher, then 12 months would be fine. However, if you've got more than one whip going on, it's kind of cutting it tight. So they did have a provision where you could ask to renew the course, so you still get access to the course for an extra 12 months, which I did. However, the course was running out in March, and then like that was it. I think it's just like tough luck. Like if you haven't finished it within the 2 years, it's kind of tough, and I think that you lose all your access. Presumably you could print out the notes, but I couldn't have done it from just the paper notes. I needed to watch the videos. So I knew that I had to finish this by March, and I had my own personal deadline that I definitely wanted this done by the end of the year. Once it was stitched, I could take my time. I can take my time in deciding how to finish it, or fully finish it. But I wanted it done before the end of the year. So I really got my groove on in September, and I was like, right, I'm doing it. Okay, so let's talk about the piece, and then we'll just talk about how I found it. So I'm trying to even remember everything about it. There were so many Goldwork. I had no idea before I started it. Goldwork is so technical. There are so many bits and pieces to it. It's so intricate. There are so many things that can go wrong, and you have to work with it flat. So you have to work with it completely flat, because you end up with all these little bits that you've kind of like cut, bits of metallic goodness that you've cut and are like all over loose, like almost like beads, and then you're trying to pick them up and do them. So I don't even know if I can remember the names of everything I did, but this here was like a diaper stitch. So you're couching down the gold threads and then couching it with a colour. And then these here are overstretched pearl, which means that it's the same thread. I don't know if thread is even the right word. It's the same metal doodah as this here around the wing, but you kind of like pull it out, you know, like an old-fashioned telephone cord. You can like I used to when I was little on the phone, like you like pull them and stretch it, and then you put your DMC or whatever thread you're using inside to give you that colour. And then this here I think is called rough pearl, and again you cut little bits of the metal, and then I think it was like a little tube, like a toilet roll tube, and you just, or like a bead, and then you thread your needle through and do that. And then here, this is overstretched pearl again, that you just like stretch it out, but you just couch it down. Yeah, oh, see, a little bit's coming loose. We were not going to look too closely because a little bit's just coming loose, but that's fine. Yeah, and then to make these leaves, then you've got this, I think this is Japanese couching thread, that you then just kind of lay on the fabric. You kind of plunge the ends down through and secure it all on the back. I'm going to show you the back, but absolute mess. So you can see there, that's where your threads have come through, and then you're trying to couch them, like stitch them down. This technique here is called essing, and again it's just like metallic thread that's hollow inside, and you cut each one individually like a little bead, and the way you place your needle, I mean, it's very uneven, very uneven. It was the best I could do, okay? It was the best I couldn't do any better, okay? So Catherine and Elizabeth, if you're watching, I did my best. I feel like they need to give me a masterclass in essing, because it was very, very difficult to get that, to get it even. And at that point, I was kind of like done. I was so done with this piece. I wanted it done. I was done and done. But the whole result for someone is an absolute beginner. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. And the result, when you're looking at it from a distance, is magnificent. And then here we've got silk shading on the petals, silk shading, dodgy silk shading on the leaves. And then I think this wiggly one there, and the wiggly ones here, I think that's called Rococo. And you just couch that down. And then to finish it off, then there was all these lovely little pearls and this little rough check or rough pearl, I can't remember what it was called, and some sequins, and just to sort of finish the whole piece off. So that's my finish. I love it. I've just got it up on my shelf so I can look at it. I love the colours, I love the sparkle. I'm not going to be in a rush to do Goldwork again anytime soon. I've had real fun with it. Actually, it goes real well with my journal. Huh. Yeah, look, the turquoise and the gold, how fun. But I find cross stitching or embroidery a lot more relaxing than the gold work. I suppose it was all new techniques. It was a little bit out of my depth, but I learned a lot. And I don't think, well, I know I couldn't have done it without the video tutorials. So that's me finished, guys. Yay. I'm so pleased. So pleased. That's done. And a relief because I needed it done before March, otherwise I was scuppered. First up is the Dimensions Gold collection. This is Aurora Cabin. I'm stitching it on the Aida that comes with the kit. Everything that's a nice mess, isn't it? Everything that just comes with the kit, this is what it'll look like finished. And this is my oldest whip. I started this in 2017. So I would like this done. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And this is my progress. Sorry, it's still in the Q-snap a little bit. You're not missing much at the bottom there. So let's bring it in. I mean, this is a stunning piece. This is one of those pieces that I saw, and it was, I think I started on the 17th of December 2017, and you know when you just see it and you're like, I have to stitch that. It's gorgeous. I love everything about it. I love wintry scenes. So let's bring you in on what I've managed. So the last time you saw it, I was down to about here, and I had completed these rocks and things of the stitching. I'm having a go at parking on this one, and coming down row by row, just to try and get some kind of semblance of order and be able to see my progress more easily. So I was up in the fir trees, came down and worked all of the tree trunks, and then hit this little this little fence. I think it's a little bridge or something, or a fence over the river. And it's looking really good. I haven't done any of there's quite a bit of couching on this one and a little bit of backstitch, so I haven't done any of that. I've just worked on this. I think there's a little bit in this tree to do. I've done 41,000, just over 41,000 stitches total. We're getting there. According to the pattern keeper estimate though, I have just hit 85% complete. So I literally just have this, that's the bottom of the piece there. And I have just got this last little section to do. At that point, I then have to make a decision. Once I've finished it, I've got to decide, because here, these are all French knots. I'm not good at French knots. Oh yeah, no, you can see. They're really bad. They look fab though. I think they're stars. So I have to come over here with the French knots and fill all of those in on the sky. It might be that I make the executive decision to do beads instead. It would mean unpicking what I've already done. So I might try in a little corner and see what the beads look like, whether that looks better and gives it like a really good effect, or not, in which case I will have to do the French knots. So in October, my hopes is to obviously finish this section here and bring it down level, and then I will have finished all that snowy section there, finished those trees, and then here, this is where the river, the icy kind of river runs along. And then there's all reflection of the house here, and then some like snow-covered rocks and things. So that is my plans for October with this piece, but it's looking stunning. And in October, if I can get it up to 90%, then that would be fab. I'd be very, very pleased with that. Next up is my Heaven and Earth Designs Castle View. Artwork by Alexandra Gavrilova. This piece is huge. It's ginormous. I think it's 286,000 stitches, so it's not small by any means. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it, and this is what it looks like now. This isn't going to work because I've got it on my Millennium frame, and I haven't got the side stretches because they're another project, so it's gonna do its own thing. Also, I write on my, where has it gone? There. I write on my side stretches, the that's upside down, sorry, but it says 24 inch or 60 centimeters, so I can see what they are. So this is stitched on 25 count, 1/1 full cross. And there is an awful lot of 818 and DMC Blanc in the sky section. And the last time you saw it, I was up to here-ish, I think. Well, since then, I've converted to parking, and I have now started work here in this archway, so it's not particularly interesting, but it was nice to get off the sort of very, very pale pinks, and I decided to just come across and go all the way across the piece right to the edge. In fact, you can see I got impatient, and I wanted to stitch the final edge of the project just to see the full width of it. And then as we come down, then there are roses that are growing up. So they're growing up inside the arch, and so hopefully I think I'm about to hit, well, maybe they start there, so I'm about to start getting some leaves and things. And out of the 286,000 stitches, I have reached 22,501 stitches. That one's obviously important, and I'm at 7.8% complete. So we're trying to close in on 10% complete with this one. And then in October, I'm really hoping on my next rotation, obviously to get to the end of the actual piece, and then I'll decide whether to maybe start here and move across again. But yeah, I think it's going to look absolutely fab when it's done. She says, but I need to sort of get going on this really, otherwise it will never be done. Because it's a monster piece. Right. Thirdly, what should have been worked on is Castle Wolves. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs artwork by Jan Patrik Krasny. That's what it will look like when it's done. And this is what it looked like when you last saw it. However, I didn't manage to work on this piece again. The confetti is crazy, and I was so focused on trying to finish the Royal School of Needlework Goldwork Butterfly that I didn't actually get any time on this piece, which was a shame. So it still looks exactly as it did when you last saw it. But in October, I just want to finish the end of that little tiny page. There's only about 600 or less stitches to finish that page and then move across. But I am not on track with my goals for this piece because I wanted to get all the way across to the moon. It's not going to happen, I don't think. I'd be very surprised if it does. Next up, two whips that I kind of count as one. So I am stitching all 4 of the Durene Jones seasonal pieces. So they're called Winter Is, Autumn Is, etc. I'm counting them as one whip, and I worked on both autumn and winter. So this is the winter one, what it will look like, and then what it looked like when you last saw it. And then here we are now. So this is absolutely, oh, I love it, it's gorgeous. I'm stitching this on 32 count opalescent even weave to give it a bit of winter sparkle. I had just started on the scarf, and so I finished the stitching on the scarf, and then I stitched this kind of like mitten. I love Durene Jones's backstitch and shading. It's glorious. Absolutely love this piece. It's looking really good. And then I just brought a few more of the little snowflakes down. So that is that one. And then also I worked on autumn as well. So this one I stitched on 32 count Belfast linen in antique white. Now then, because we've started October, I have actually started this. It was picked as my new month rotation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a clip here of my progress of how far I've got. So this is the Autumn Is by Durene Jones. I'm stitching this on 32 count Belfast in antique white, and I am really chuffed with the progress that I have made. I had this, please excuse my hands, I've been painting. So before we had the pumpkin, and we had some of this just starting this central motif. So I've done quite a bit. So I finished this umbrella motif here. This is what it's going to look like when we've finished. So you can see I've done this umbrella motif, and then I started work on the wellies. The only reason I stopped was because I ran out of this green, which was a shame, so I couldn't here we go, so I couldn't finish the wellies, but I've backstitched the umbrella, and that won't take long just to fill in the wellies. And then I've been trying to eat my vegetables, as Lauren at Flossability says. So I have been doing quite a lot in this sort of creamy yellow colour, and I managed to come down far enough so that I could then start to backstitch the autumn, because it doesn't look anything, the cross stitching doesn't look anything until you've backstitched on top, and then suddenly it really pops and it looks amazing. I think I've also backstitched these leaves, which again just completely make it. So I was trying to do one length of thread in the centre motif, and then one length in something fun, and alternate backwards and forwards. So I cannot wait to work on this in October. And I'm really hoping that I will be able to work a little bit more on this centre motif. I'll definitely be able to finish these wellies motifs, and then I'll just have to decide what to do next. I could come down and do this cup, that would be quite good, but I think I'm going to be tempted to go up and do that sock. So I think I might move up there and then maybe finish these, and then try and do as much as I can to complete the centre bit, and then work on the sock. Hopefully I can complete the wellies, a sock, quite a bit of this, and then do the back stitching that says warm socks, and maybe these leaves here if we can. So really happy with that. It's starting to look really cool. So welcome back. So that's how far I've got on autumn. Autumn Is by Durene Jones, and I have been stitching that today, and I absolutely love it. I'm really into autumn stitching, so I'm really getting my head down on that one. Finally, for my main whips, I've got Heaven and Earth Designs, another full coverage. I have too many full coverages on the go. This is PK or Pink Poppies, artwork by Jo Lynch. This is what it will look like when it's finished. Thankfully, this is a little bit smaller than the other full coverages. And this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And I had restarted this on 18 count. I'd originally started it on 14 and it just wasn't working, so I've done it on 18, and this is just over 60,000 stitches total, and I'm very pleased with my progress so far. So I'll hold it back here. I love it, guys. I'm also having a go at the Royal Rose method. I didn't really realise that's what it was called. I was just kind of parking in columns, but apparently it's called Royal Rose. And this is how far I've got. I was over here. It's hard to show you. Right, over here, and then I've come across here, done all the white, and then I've started a new little kind of, the next 2 squares down. I just wanted to stitch this piece a little bit differently rather than doing it page by page, especially because it was a restart and I'd already stitched the first page and moved on to the second page. I wanted to get the full design in. So I got all these I mean, the colours are just fantastic on this one. The lovely pinks and the greens and then the teals. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. So this is full cross, 2 strands on 18 count, and working my way along here. So in October, obviously, wow, peeking at you, I really want to finish this bit here. So I'm up to 14,689 stitches out of a possible just like about 61,000. I will say I have taken off about 10 stitches at the top that should have just been white, and I think maybe 5 or 10 stitches at either end that again they were just white, so there was no real point me stitching them. I wasn't just going to be stitching white, so I've taken those off, which has given me a slight head start, but I've just reached 24.5%. I was trying so hard to get 25%. If I could have just got this one done, I might have reached it, but next time I'm definitely hitting the 25% mark on this one already, which is really nice. As I say, it's a full coverage piece, but it's a little bit smaller than some of the humongous Heaven and Earth Designs ones. Right, and then the final piece I worked on, it was a token gesture. And in addition to my main whips that I try and work on every month, doesn't always happen, I have little smalls that I take if I'm travelling. So if I'm going to a friend's house, or we're travelling in the car, or we're going out somewhere, I'll take one of the smalls with me. And at the moment it's this. The Dress Up Girls Sophie card. It was from the Cross Stitcher March 2015 magazine as the free gift, and that's what she'll look like eventually. And I have hardly done any, but this is where we've got to so far with her. She's almost finished. I made a little boo-boo in that obviously this is my travel piece. And so I think we'd gone on holiday somewhere, and I'd brought her, and then I realised that so this piece is a little bit different in that you get little items of clothing, you know, like the really old-fashioned dress-up dolls that you used to get, maybe you still get them, where you'd like cut out paper. It's like that but with fabric, so you can choose, you can see you can choose what she wears, and they give you interfacing to then iron it on. Got this out to work on it and hadn't realised that you need an iron to then iron your little pieces of clothing onto the girl, and then it's up to you whether you add any like extra stitching on top to add a bit of decorative or hold it down a bit. So I just, without any of the interfacing, I just stitched down the umbrella. It wasn't very easy going through the Aida. It was a little bit stiff, but anyway, I've added her umbrella, and I will finish this off at home when I've got my iron and iron on. You can iron on her dress or her boots, and then I'll be able to make it up into a card. yeah, so that won't hopefully take me very long, and then she will be finished. So that's my girl, and I found my scissors. Yay. I've got a really old pair of, I think they're DMC Gold Stalk scissors. My cousin bought me them when I was 11 and I first started cross stitching, so I mean I've had my money's worth out of them. I was actually using them for the gold work because I didn't want to blunt my my like posh nice embroidery scissors. Not that these aren't posh or nice, but they're just very old now and the gold platings come off. But it's a real sentimental, yeah, it's a real sentimental comfort scissors these are. And considering how old they are, do you know what, they work amazing. They still work beautiful. Anyway, I'm glad I found them. So that is it for the whips. So for those of you who are interested in either a little bit of designing news or a little bit of stash acquisitions, feel free to leave now. I don't mind. I always leave anything designy, I always leave it to the end in case you're not interested, and you can click off and you won't have missed anything. And it is a very little bit of things I've bought, so I'll just show you. I went to the Nimble Thimble and I purchased some glass Mill Hill beads. If I can show you them. So these are the colours. These are the colours that I bought, and I bought them for these Durene Jones kits. So with these kits, they recommend, or Daren recommends, that you use sequins. So these big round things, I think these little ones are French knots, and then the big ones are supposed to be sequins. She doesn't say what make or brand you can use. You can use any that you want. And it just says what colour. So for example, you would use red and copper on this. I wasn't quite sure where to get them from, and I wasn't sure of the colours really. I did have a look on, is it Jenny Adin Christie was recommended to me because she does mini sequins. So I did have a look on her website, and then in the end I decided I'd substitute the sequins for Mill Hill beads. So I bought these two to go with the autumn. So I think they'll go really nicely, and I'll probably bead at the end. For winter, I already had a pack of these. They're the 2010 ones that are quite, I think they're used in a lot of projects, and then 2007 ones, but I needed some more, so I've bought those to go with winter because Durene Jones recommends, I think she recommends silver and pale blue sequins, so I'm going to use these Mill Hill beads instead. And the blue is a perfect match, which is marvellous. And then for the spring one, this is the spring one. I just have everything in here ready to start. I've not started this one yet, but there's some gorgeous colours, and I bought these kind of pale yellowy beads, which I think will go well with the yellow. And then I already had some very pale pink beads that I think might go. Why did I think pink? Oh, because there's pink here. That's what it is. I was thinking there's no pink in this. Why did I choose pink? There we go. There's pink there. So I've already got some of those. So hopefully that will go there when I start it. Sorry, came very close. So that's everything I bought. I just literally bought some Mill Hill beads. I don't tend to buy a lot of stash until I'm ready to start something. So I don't tend to even buy the kits or things until I'm ready to start, and then I purchase. So that's all of what I purchased in September. And then finally, design news. Again, won't take very long, but I released the spring garden band sampler. This is what it will look like. So you can see I've got autumn and winter behind me. And so these are the colours I've picked for the spring one. So this one's got a garden theme, and it's like wheelbarrows and stuff. And then these are the colours. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, I wanted spring pinks and greens, but quite a muted palette. And then a little bit of Krynic as well. And then the other option I thought was, if you wanted to stitch it in variegated DMC, you can, because these colours would be absolutely perfect. So that's DMC 4500. I nearly stitched it myself in variegated because I think it looked really cool and be quite fun. So that released. It wasn't a good release because I changed my website over. I changed where you register your domain and things. Changed it over from one company to another, like the week of or the week before I released, which then caused loads of problems with the website, and then people were messaging me to say the website wasn't working. So I'm really sorry to anyone who that has happened to. I've been in contact with the new providers of the website, who were great, and everything had gone through fine. In the end, everything was working okay. It should be working okay now, but it was to do with people's browsing history. Like, sometimes the old website still loads and then it doesn't load properly, and then you get like errors. So if that happens to you, you just need to like clear your browsing history and your cache, which I think is your browsing history, in order to make sure that you get the new version through, and then it will work fine. But yes, yeah, so that was a bit of a oh, I'd worked so hard into the spring release, and then all that happened, and I was like, oh no. It was really unfortunate, bad timing on my part to move across that week. So that was unfortunate, but it is all sorted and fixed now. And then the other really exciting thing that I have been doing this week is I have been finalising the colour palette for this summer band sampler. So thank you to everyone who's been asking, like, are there going to be spring and summer ones? Yes, there are. The spring one is now out. There will be a summer one out at some point, hopefully before the end of the year. I am working on it as we speak, and this is the colour palette I've chosen for summer. So I don't have a preview of the summer because it's about 60% complete, but I do have the colours. I'm not trying to hide the DMC numbers, it's just the way I'm holding them, sorry. So a really nice nautical theme, like all these lovely blues, like a beachy sandy colour, beachy like sandy golden colour. Fabulous. And I think I'm going to go with this Krynic, which is in Vatican gold, and it's just a little bit softer than like the sort of regular gold. So I can't wait for you all to see that. Hopefully that will be, like I say, before the end of the year, and I'm going to carry on designing that one, and I will show it to you when it's ready. So that's everything, guys. Yeah, all me whips. I'm excited to get stitching in October. I'm really excited to work on the autumn project. It's rustling now because I've got the beads in the back, and really make some good progress on that while it is seasonally appropriate. Seems we're in the season, and I will be back at the end of October, or right at the start of November, to recap my October stitching, and hopefully I've made some good progress to show you all. So thank you ever so much for watching. Have a lovely autumn. Enjoy some pumpkin spice lattes and some gingerbread lattes, and I will see you I will see you soon. Take care, guys.